Am the bad guy for calling out a woman at the brewery? My husband and I met with a group of friends, 8 people total, every Friday. We choose a brewery and meet there for a couple of beers and play games. Cards and gains humanity. Uno, Travel Pursuit, just a fun night with friends. And all around good times. We are all in our 30s and 40s. Some of us have small kids, others, like us, are empty nesters. It's an adult only thing, so the friends in the group that have small kids get babysitters so that we can have adult time. So we went to a brewery last week. It's about an hour and a half drive for 4 out of the 8 of us that we have wanted to try for almost a year. My husband and I got there first and found a large picnic style table that we close to the bar while we wanted for our group to get there. It was basically two large picnic tables side by side, and you could easily fit our group on one table and another large group on the other. While we were waiting, a woman approached us and asked if she and her group could take the other side of the table. We told her yes, and she signed for her friend partner. He came to a table and he had an infant carrier and was holding the hand of a toddler. I immediately looked at my husband and said it would have been nice of her to mention that they had kids with them. A few minutes after they sat down, the rest of the group, 6 people in total, came to the table and each of them had kids with them. One of the kids, who was about 2, 3 years old, was screaming to be put down and immediately started running where they did. I was pretty upset and told the woman that it was really not cool of her to not even mention that their entire group has small children and that there were plenty of other tables that will have accommodated them in the tap room. They ended up moving tables, but not after the friend partner of the first woman said it was not cool of me to take the move tables. My husband said that I was out of line, and when we told this to our friends, they were split, with all of them agreeing that it was not okay for them to not say anything about the kids, and the other says that there is no rule against having kids in the tap room, so I shall have just to let it go. So I'm at the beggar for calling out a woman at the brewery. I'm at the beggar for leaving the table after my brother-in-law made joke I didn't like. So I recently went through a miscarriage, so as I'm not with my ex anymore, my mom insisted on being by my side. So she temporarily moved in with me because she wanted to keep an eye on me. I told her it was fine, but moms, yeah. She had the idea of inviting my sister and brother-in-law for dinner, so we did. Things is, my brother-in-law is the kind of guy who likes to make jokes about everything, so he never means harm, but it gets annoying at times. During dinner, to cheer me up, my brother-in-law decided to make some jokes, so they were light, but I wasn't in the mood to hear them. It was jokes like, it's kinda good thing. You can imagine the kid looks like the dad and you had see his face all the time. Well, at least you won it up like those moms who have to rely on pills to stay awake and so etc. Honestly, it was maybe innocent jokes and made my mom and sister laugh, but it personally made me upset. I told him to stop the jokes, that I didn't want to hear them. He said in a joking tone, "Whoa, is losing your humor a side effect when you lose a baby?" When he said that, I got so mad and said that I left the table and went to my room. I heard my sister and brother-in-law leave shortly after that. My mom came to check on me and told me it was okay, and she left me alone for the rest of the day. But I received a text from my sister saying that I was disrespectful to storming out like I did that my brother-in-law was only trying to cheer me up and make me laugh, and I should have appreciated his efforts. And now I'm feeling bad, because I do appreciate them trying to make me feel better. But the jokes of my brother-in-law don't do that. Apparently, my sister also texted my mom and told her that they won't talk to me or come back until I apologize to my brother-in-law and her for being disrespectful. And I really wonder, am I the bad guy for getting mad at my brother-in-law jokes when he was only trying to make me laugh? Am I the bad guy for telling my sister her outfit is inappropriate for a family gathering? I was asked by my sister if the maxi dress she was trying on will be inappropriate for our upcoming Mother's Day family celebration. It's a Skims knockoff, so if you Google Skims maxi dress nude, you'll get the idea. So she tried it on for me, and of course she's stunning. She's tall and very curvy with the face of a model. If this was for a date, I would okay in it. It's definitely in her style. But since we're going to be seeing our whole family, including all their grandparents, I told her that I thought it looked amazing, but it wasn't appropriate for a family gathering. It's very thin material and hugs every single curve. You can pretty much see everything. She got understandably upset, which I should have predicted because I could tell she liked it. She said she didn't understand my reasons because it wasn't see-through and said I'm just trying to police her body. It wasn't my intention, but I think it's pretty much the definition of what I ended up doing. I just know how our family is, and we had a similar incident at Christmas when she wore a super thin bodysuit, and it ended up being see-through. It made people uncomfortable. I can see it from the older generation side too. I'm sure there is a limit to how much of your adult granddaughter's body you want to see, but I also don't want her to feel restricted. I was trying to prevent a similar situation. I don't want her to have a bad day once she realizes she's making people uncomfortable. Maybe I'm overthinking this and shouldn't have just agreed with her opinion on the dress. I kinda wished I had just lied. So, am I the bad guy? And even if I'm not, am I just in wrong? Where is the line between dressing respectfully and freedom of expression? So there is not a true reference photo that captures it, but I think a big part of the problem is that it's the super thing, fast fashion material. It's more revealing than the Skims reference I tried to provide. So my future plan is to take your advices and just stay out of it. I'm at the bad guy for not making child-inclusive plans that someone in my friend group chat can attend. Hello guys, recently my friend group has been divided on an issue. I have a group of 6 friends and their significant other from high school. All of us are in our mid-20s. The only person in our friend group is Jessica, who has 2 young children and is a single mom. I'm the only person in my friend group chat can host, as my husband and I own a decent-sized house and doesn't have anything stopping us from hosting, I guess. One doesn't want to host, 2 live with their partners and can't. Another has roommates, they won't let them, and etc. We all live in a rural area, so there isn't really anywhere to go for more than a quick dinner. So someone hosting is the only way we can all hang out really. When I host, it's always later in the day, around 7 p.m.-ish. That's when most of us are off work. I also have a no children rule for my house, since my dog is afraid of children, and I honestly don't like kids anyways. My nephew yanked my dog's tail several times, so now my dog rolls at kids. I had a gathering last weekend, a dinner time barbecues. Everyone was invited, Some rules as norm. Jessica asked if she could bring her kids because she can't afford a babysitter, and since both of their dads are involved at all. I said no, because of my dogs and also because I don't want her baby and toddler at my house. The last time she brought them, she kept trying to push them off on other people who didn't want to help them so she could relax. Also, her toddler poked on my 5K white couch, which I had to replace. No, she didn't pay for it. Jessica blew on me in the group chat and said that I always exclude her. I told her I'm not excluding her, I'm excluding kids, all kids. She's welcome to come if she finds someone to watch her kids. I also told her she's welcome to host. She kind of went on about how none of this is possible, and now she isn't talking to anyone. Our group is split. Half think it's my house, my rules. One said maybe if she screwed better guys, she'll be able to have a babysitter. And two think that I should just let her kids come. To be honest, if it was someone else, I would maybe cave. But I don't like Jessica that much, especially since she didn't pay for my replacement couch. So am I the bad guy for making child non-friendly plans that someone in my friend group can make it to? Am I the bad guy for making my child choose a different cake? My son Jackson recently turned 5. We had a small party with some of his friends from daycare, my parents and my boyfriend's family. Since he has been old enough to make a lot of his own decisions the past year, I've let him choose what he wants for his birthday. This year, Jackson said that he wanted a chocolate birthday cake with blueberries in the middle and worms on top. I wasn't super sure about this combination of things, so I told him that while I know he likes it, his party guests probably wouldn't enjoy chocolate and blueberries and asked him to pick a different flavor. I suggest Oreos or raspberries instead of blueberries, and he said he wanted to think about it. After a while, he came back with a completely different cake idea, coconut strawberry Lilo and Stitch cake, and asked if he would have it instead. I approved his new idea, so we ordered it. At the party, I was approached by my boyfriend's partner and accused of forcing interest on my child. I asked what they were about, and they said that Jackson has told them about the cake situation. I was confused as Jackson has been super excited about his cake. I told him after the party, and he said that he originally wanted the worm cake, but loves his Lilo and Stitch cake. I still feel like a bad mom for feeling him to pick a different cake. So, what do you think? I don't choose his coconut cake. I did not eat the cake because I do not like coconut. My son loves coconut, which is why he chose it. I don't tell him that he couldn't have a worm cake. He chose a different cake designs on his own. We could not have multiple cakes due to not having the budget for it. I offered to make the cakes instead, but he wanted it from the bakery. We got my boyfriend's birthday cake from, so that's where we got it from. My boyfriend is not related to my son in any way. His parents are not my son's grandparents. My son's father is double my age, and it hasn't been in the picture since I was 17 before he was born. The blueberry filling at the bakery we went to is very sweet and artificial tasting jam. My son hasn't had the filling, but I have, and know from similar thing that he wouldn't really enjoy it. Yes, my son is really 5. Yes, he does actually like Lilo and Stitch. No, chocolate and blueberries are not a combo you usually see where we live. Yes, chocolate-covered fresh blueberries are his favorite snack. No, I'm not pushing him for wanting worms on his cake. I appreciate the worms. I have no issue with the worms. I'm at the beggar for making a relative give me the money she had for a house over a toy. For context, I love building model kits, and I had a lot of them. But 2 months ago, my city was hit hard by a giant earthquake. I live in Turkey, and my city was the epicenter for the giant earthquakes. While thankfully the house I was living with my family only had some paint damage, out of all of my model kits, only one survived. It was a MG the Ogenpla. Hours ago, one of my mother's cousins came with her child. I was at my room doing some work when the child walked into my room. Normally, my models were in a cupboard with a glass door, but it was destroyed in the earthquakes, so it was now on my shelf, so the child saw it and earned to play with it. When I didn't give it to her, his mother came and started yelling at me. And while I was dealing with her, the child got on my chair, picked the model up, and immediately dropped it and smashed it. It was completely destroyed. Now here's where I might be a bad guy. Since that model is old, getting an unbuilt copy now costs $300 at least, but I want her to pay for the parts I used to customize it. I had kit bashed it, which makes everything together cost up to $800–900. I'm making videos at the side job, and at the time my camera was rolling and got the whole exchange. I told her unless she paid me that amount a month, I will take her to the court. The problem is, because of the exchange rate of dollar, that amount of money is nearly equal to what she had for down payment on a house, and if I take her to the court, that money combined with court fees will drain all the money she has. I'm at the beggar for telling my friend my daughter passed away on his birthday. My daughter passed away 10 years ago. It was unexpected and truly horrible time in my life. 7 years later, I met a guy. Things didn't work out, but he insisted we remain friends. This guy's birthday happened to be the same date as my daughter's death. I hesitated in telling him of the unfortunate coincidence, as I was concerned about how he would take it. I didn't hide it. Every year, I'd post something on Facebook in memory of her. He was my Facebook friend, so it wasn't like he couldn't see the posts. He also made a huge thing of never celebrating his birthday. He didn't like the fuse. About 3 weeks before his birthday last year, we met up for drinks, and he was telling me of his plans to go camping with his mates for his birthday. He asked me what my plans were, and I just said I was taking it easy, having the day off work and just doing what I needed to do to keep my mind busy. He picked up on the taking the day off work and asked why I'd bother taking his birthday off, especially since we weren't a couple and he wasn't going to be around. I told him it was personal, but he kept pushing, so eventually I said it was because of my daughter. He didn't understand and kept asking, so I told him outright that my daughter has died on the same date as his birthday, and that I had difficulties each year around that date and normally take the day off work because I'm distressed. Mind you, he's known me for 5 years by this stage. He was offended and angry, told me I was ruining his birthday and being selfish, and that if I expected a happy death day message from him, then I would be disappointed because he wouldn't do that no matter what I wanted. I had said nothing about him, even acknowledging her, or even expected or wanted it. He went for about 5 minutes about how horrible I was and finishing up telling me never to mention her again. I ended up apologizing. I wasn't attempting to ruin his birthday, and I felt horrible. But on reflecting, I'm shocked by the way he reacted. I didn't want anything from him except maybe just understanding that his birthday date wasn't the best day for me. But I will always make sure that my pain hasn't affected me when I was around him or when he was having a drink for his birthday in the past. So, I'm at the Becca for telling him that my daughter died on his birthday.